Thank you for staying with us. We all know that Nigeria will be 65 tomorrow. This morning on the program, we'll be looking at two national symbols, especially the national flag and the national anthem. We all know that the national flag was designed by Mr. Taiwo Akikumi of blessed memory in 1959. The green symbolizes agriculture, while the white symbolizes peace and unity. And looking at the wordings of the national anthem as well, it preaches love, unity, and the need for us to see ourselves as brothers irrespective of our differences of religion and tribe. But then, how many of us are relating with ourselves in accordance with the wordings of the national anthem? For this particular conversation, we have Mr. Tayo Orekoya joining us this morning. He's a politician and a public affairs analyst. It's our pleasure to have you.
Thank you. Good morning.
How do you feel as a Nigerian that we are going to celebrate Nigeria at 65 tomorrow before we come to these symbols of the Nigerian flag and the national anthem?
Well, I think it's a great feeling. 65 is not a joke. And the truth actually is that, yes, Nigeria has come through a long way. At 65, we have every reason to thank God. The truth is that we are not where we used to be, even if we are not where we want to be, but this was not Nigeria that was there before. You see, for me personally, I like to see the cup half full than half empty. I like to see the positives, right, even when there are issues. But when you look back, I recall that, so many years ago, there were so many things when you travel abroad that it can only be then that you see them. They are symbols of when you now see that, yes, I'm actually not in Nigeria, but today they are all here. So yes, we still have a lot of progress to make, but we are not where we used to be. And I do believe in Nigeria. I believe that this country offers great promise. There's hardly any country in the world where you can actually have the opportunities, the potentials, to become who you want to be, to do what you want to do, to achieve what you want to achieve. And it's actually a question of perception. It's a question of what do you see? Do you see the positives or the negatives? Let me cite an example for you, because it's always good to tell stories. A story of myself. When Nigeria was going to be 40 in year 2000, I think, yeah. People were complaining, a lot of people were seeing things not working, oh, what a country and all that. But I gathered my team together and said to them, Nigeria is going to be 40. So what opportunity is there for us? And we decided to have a publication called Local Government Administration in Nigeria at 40. And we traveled the length and breadth of this country. And I recall that publication was not only a huge success. We had the volume 1, we had the volume 2. And the book was published at the Institute of International Affairs in Abuja. Right, raking in millions for the country. So it's a question of what do you see? So for me, Nigeria at 65 is something to celebrate, even as we look forward to greater heights. All right,
so let's come back to the issues on the front burner now, which is the national flag and the national anthem. Nigeria, like you rightly pointed out, will be 65 tomorrow. What actually was the motive behind the design and the creation of that national flag by the late Taiwo Akikumi in 1959. Like I mentioned in my intro, the white symbolizes unity and peace. How many of us adore this national symbol?
Well, I think, the Nigerian flag is a symbol of pride, of unity and sovereignty. And I think it's something we should be proud of. When Nigeria was going to attain independence, this competition was put out there in 1959, and like you said, it was won by a then 23-year-old student, Taiwo Akikumi. One can recall that even then, he was not in Nigeria when he entered that competition. He was in faraway Norway as a student, right? But because he had that patriotism, right, he decided to put in for the competition. Eventually, he won it. Now, when you look at the national flag, it is a symbol of pride for us, and when the flag is hoisted, it's something that should bring in that sense of patriotism in everybody to show that, yes, this is our country. And the green, of course, like you said, stands for agriculture and natural wealth. The white stands for unity and peace, And these are values that we hold there. I recall that when we were younger, we used to sing that song. Iṣẹ́ àgbẹ̀ níṣẹ́ ilé wa, ẹni kò ṣiṣẹ́ á máa jalè, ìwé kíkọ láìsí ọkọ́ àti àdá kò ì pé o, kò ì pé o. So agriculture till today and forever remains the bedrock of economic development. Because like Yorubas will also say, tóúnjẹ bá ti kúrò nínú ìṣẹ́, ìṣẹ́ bùṣe. So symbolizing agriculture, speaks to wealth, not just agriculture in agriculture. It speaks also to other areas. Is it technology? Is it mechanical? Whatever you can do to create wealth. And then peace. Without peace and unity, there can be no progress. There can be no development. So the Nigerian flag symbolizes two key foundations upon which life can be based. When you have peace, then you can have progress, and then you can create wealth. Okay,
but how many of us are proud as a Nigerian of this flag? Because oftentimes the National Orientation Agency had complained that some people do deface the national flag. They are not according the national flag the respect they ought to accord the flag. And then you mentioned agriculture. Yeah. In those days, agriculture was the backbone of the economy. Then we discovered oil and we forgot about agriculture, which is why we are suffering today.
That's right. That's right. Okay, now first, talking about, the fact that quite a number of people do not respect the national flag, there are so many issues and challenges to the flag, even beyond the issue of probably being tattered, being faded, and then you have even, when you see the colors of some flags, the green is not the real green, right? And these are very critical. Because, you see, it's about branding. When you talk about the national flag, you have the clear green color that you should adopt and should be adopted across the board. Now, unfortunately, a number of Nigerians actually don't even know the implications of honoring the national flag, which is very important because it builds in you a sense of pride that this is ours. At international events, of course, when you find hoisted the flag of a country, and then the national anthem is being sung, you see people stand at attention, they feel a sense of pride. Right, okay, so also part of the problem is the fact that we have lost a sense of history in our schools. How many of these schools teach the importance of the flags? And probably how many of our students or the young ones know actually the implication? At a time like this, we are celebrating the 65th anniversary, but it should not be left for a time like this. The National Orientation Agency still has more work to do.
Should make it regular.
Make it regular, you understand, so that they can actually, engage continually with the citizenry and then let people imbibe that culture of having the respect for the flag. And then let us ensure consistency in the branding of the flag and ensure that these flags, when they are hoisted, hoisted correctly. Because, these are some of the issues. And a lot of people also, probably because of situations, economic challenges, they say, they just don't bother. What concerns me? But that's not the right attitude. Because everything starts with a foundation. If the foundation is wrong, what can the righteous do?
Let's look at what played out during the last presidential election, wherein we displayed all kind of bias of ethnicity and religion for the presidential election. The white in this, the white color of the national flag symbolizes unity and peace. Are we really together as a country when you look at the way we play our politics?
It's quite sad and unfortunate that you see The way we play politics in this country is such that we seem to dwell more on, sentiments, sentiments that relate to ethnicity, religion, region bias, rather than facing the critical issues of leadership, issues of visionary transformative leadership. I mean, issues that concern us as a person, like security, education, issues that bring about progress. So you see that the impact of the peace and unity of the flag is actually, does not resonate with the average person. Because if it does, we would have our focus on what are those things that are able to transform and translate this country, rather than ethnicity. Oh, where does he come from? Is he my brother? Is he a Christian? Is he a Muslim? You understand? We need to rise above all that. And that is the essence of these emblems and symbols. To say that, look, we are one, we are united, and then we forge ahead in peace. Yeah.
Okay, but looking at
what religion is he and all that. And that's not going to get us to where we want to be. But beyond even our political leaders, even in the corporate world, right, what do we see? What do we do? Right? Do we prioritize merit over sentiments? So I recall that at a point in time in my company, the management team, there was about 9 of them. I think probably about 6 of them, including the chief operating officer, was not from this part of the country. Right. So that's the kind of thing we should be talking about. We look at the merit and then we decide on. Again, we must not forget about the followership as well.
I wasn't even going to come to that because we cannot put everything squarely on
the leadership. Exactly.
What's about the followers? And that will take me through the first stanza of the national anthem now. Nigeria we hail thee, our own dear native land. Though tribe and tongue may differ, in brotherhood we stand. Nigerians all, I'm proud to serve our sovereign motherland. We blame so much on our leadership, but the followers, what we do in our corners as well, is not even adding any value to the country. So looking at these symbols now, how well should we also cherish and of course propagate these symbols locally and internationally as followers and as Nigerians?
Yes, I did say that the National Orientation Agency has some work to do. Grateful that Mr. Lanre Onilu is doing a great job there, right? We take pride in Nigeria. Nigeria has happened to me. I like all these, propaganda going on now, or, all these, trying to project the positive aspects
of the country.
But of course, we need to do more also in the area of unity. And I think the NOA should take a look at this. For example, the national anthem, right? Our youths, are they actually interested? That's a key issue, right? You can talk about people like us, right? Because I remember with nostalgic feelings, this older anthem, now the new anthem. I recall when I was in the primary school, I recall when we celebrated the 10th independent anniversary of Nigeria. This was the anthem we used to sing, right? So by the time it was reintroduced, it resonated with me. That nostalgic feeling is there. Now, the next generation we are handing over to, how do they perceive the anthem? Do they even have any reckoning with it? Right? Okay, even beyond the youth, the average person, the villagers and whatever, can we also translate the anthem into Nigerian languages such that they can actually now perceive, the true meanings of this? So how do we make our youth the custodian of the national anthem? that they have the sense of pride in it. They take ownership of it. And then it will go beyond the symbolism to the substance.
And even beyond the recitation of the national anthem,
Yeah.
how do we ensure that the messages and the wordings of the national anthem also resonates?
Exactly.
What they do daily,
exactly.
How they relate with others.
That's why I was talking about symbolism, being de-emphasized over substance. Substance is our day-to-day living, policy, governance, right? How do we ensure that the government itself lives at the various levels, the local government, state, and federal? And the point is that once we talk about need, for government to be alive, the focus of everybody is on the federal government. But beyond the federal government, you have the subnationals, the state governments,
and the
local governments, right? So at these different levels, what can we do to make sure that the wordings, we talk about truth, we talk about justice, we talk about a nation where no one is oppressed, right? So how do we ensure that in our policies, in our governance, in all that we do, we practically make this a day-to-day way of life? When that is done, you find out that the average Nigerian will find it much easier to resonate. When there is less poverty in the land, when people can afford, to live reasonably well, right? It is easier then for them to be able to inculcate into their being, right, the letters of the anthem.
Okay, let's go to the second stanza now. Our flag shall be a symbol that truth and justice reign, in peace or battle honored, and these we count as gain, to hand on to our children a banner without stain. When you look at our society today, in terms of justice, there is inequality when it comes to justice and truth. Those that were entrusted with power, are they really telling Nigerians the truth? When you look at the quality of life of Nigerians, is it the same as their own quality of life?
Yeah, it's quite unfortunate that in most instances, you see, there is this saying that what you do is so loud that I can't hear what you say. Right. What you do is so loud that I can't hear what you say. What it means is that your way of life is what impacts people. Right. You cannot tell me that you want me to understand with you and then you are living an ostentatious life. You have the case of someone, a former senator, who, for example, says that, oh, now I want to go to that party. We are forming a coalition. We are the ones that would now, make things okay for this country. And then the following day, you see him come out, show in his garage's fleet of cars. Oh, this is the life I live, and other. Okay, so can anybody hear what he's saying? Nobody can hear it because what he's doing is just too loud. And this is what we are talking about.
Is it because others are not showing theirs?
Well,
they also live in affluence as well.
You see, it is bad enough that they are living in affluence. But it is worse that you are saying that, yes, I'm living in affluence, but I will show you that I'm actually terrorizing you. None of them is good. You understand me? But what I'm saying is that it's now worse to say, look, I am actually terrorizing and oppressing you. Please know that I am your oppressor. Why? Leadership should be about empathy, should be about being transformational, should be about example in day-to-day living. That's my mantra. That's what I believe. How many people come to you, leave you at the end of the day, and they're happier? That is what leadership should be about. And of course, the honest truth is this. Well, one is not saying it's perfect, but the people that probably have been with you, they will be able to tell. I just had my birthday this month, 64th. And what people did, said, sometimes brought tears to my eyes. If I was shocked when I got to my office and I saw a trumpeter and I saw the staff and everybody, I didn't know, right? You see, it's a way of life. And that's what leadership is about. So our leaders should actually practicalize
what we have in the anthem.
What we have in the anthem.
Truth.
Talk about truth.
Justice.
Talk about justice.
Peace.
Talk about peace. Right. Peace that is true peace, right? It's not the one that you were saying it is white, whereas you mean it is, it is black. It is one that your word should count for what you stand for. And that's leadership. At the moment we get to that point, then the country is set for greater heights. And people will find it easier to resonate with the wordings in the anthem.
How then do we convince the Gen Z generation that indeed, okay, we are just, we are for truth? Looking at this second stanza now, to hand on to our children a banner without stain.
This is
Look at the level of corruption in the country.
Yes, this is what we are talking
about. Leaders that we have.
Exactly. This is what we are talking about. There is need for reorientation. There is need for transformational leadership. Thank God, yes, even now we cannot say everything is perfect, but we can see that some of the issues that have been there, for example, look at the issue of the subsidy. We all know the amount of corruption that went along with that, the arbitrage in foreign exchange. We all knew what all these were. But of course, it takes the courage of a leader to say that from day one, subsidy is gone. That is leadership. Sometimes a leader has to take serious decisions. At the start, it was hard. But we all are seeing, in terms of the results now, it's beginning to show. For example, we all know that the exchange rate is not only stable, it's coming down, and people they're marveling that, oh, is this possible in Nigeria? You are seeing a situation whereby, yes, more funds are going now into the subnationals, but the question is, what are being done with it?
Because it's not reflecting on the quality of life of the people.
Yes, how does it get back to the people? Because that's the objective, really. That's the objective, so that life could be easier to live, things could be better. Yeah, so it could be tough, So if you want to hand over a banner without stain to our children, right? It starts from today. It starts from what we do practically. It's not just the symbolism of what we have in the national anthem. So what's the national budget, the state budget, the local government budget? I understand some local governments now are getting over 500 billion, monthly, right? So how does it impact? Probably times 3, times 4 of what was being gotten before. We know that some of them are actually trying to make sure that these count. But the point is, until the average Nigerian can say, yes, life has a meaning, right? The salaries that we are taking is more than enough to get us home and to work and home and back, and then our children, we can pay their school fees, they can be happy. It is only until then that we can expect that the wordings can resonate with our people.
Okay, O God of all creation, grant these are one request. Help us to build a nation where no man is oppressed, and so with peace and plenty, Nigeria may be blessed. Oppression.
I gave an example just now. That's a practical example of oppression, right? We are the people that will change this country. We move to the coalition. But tomorrow, you start doing toy to the people. Come and see, buy cars, this is what I do. This Rolex wristwatch, these brandishing. That's more than emotional oppression. It is.
But when I elect somebody as my councillor or chairman or senator or member House of Reps, and I do not have access to such man or woman, is that not oppressive?
It is. It is oppressive because, for example, every councillor is supposed to be a grassroots person.
At the ward level.
At the ward level, because that is, we don't actually accord that importance to those offices. The office of the councillor, the chairman of the local government council, is very critical because they are the closest to the people. The same for the members of the House of Assembly. The members of the House of Assembly are supposed to have constituency offices where people can go, Right. For some of our politicians, the truth is that truly some of them actually, make this happen. The federal, the House of Reps or members, the senators are supposed to have their constituency offices where their constituents can actually go to to express, what they actually want to make life better for them, right? What are their needs, right? The chairman of councils are supposed to have, like, family, what do you call it now?
Like a town hall meeting.
Like a town hall meeting, to let people know before you talk about your budget, like there are, various wards in your local government. What are their requirements, stakeholder engagement? Some of our people do it, but some don't.
It's not enough.
We need to continue to improve until we get to the level we want to get to.
Okay, we must thank you very much, Tayo Rekoya, politician and public affairs analyst, for coming to educate us on what the Nigerian flag and the national anthem symbolizes as we mark Nigeria at 65. We thank you very much for your time.
My great pleasure.
All right, we'll take another quick break now. When we come back, it will be the time for Abimbola to take us through our own conversation this morning. Do stay with us.